you know how they say engineers are socially awkward, which is not that true.
No, it's true.
It's not that true. I wouldn't.
It's true. You're an exception.
I don't have any more socials, but you can add my LinkedIn.
He needs a
You know
job.
who the fuck I am?
Have you seen my LinkedIn?
I learned a lot about Alex tonight, and I feel great.
Hopefully,
But that's just because I barely knew him
Yeah.
in the first place.
I wish I learned more about Alex.
So another question I want to add on real quick is like, since we are still talking about like trying to make the first impressions, like, do you guys always have like a first impression, or like what's the first impression you try to show off towards, you know, anyone, whether it be a professor, higher up, or, you know, even like your friends or roommates? Like, do you guys do that sometimes, or?
I have different impressions for different people, so
I know, but
they're
I'm talking about yourself, Sam. Like, you yourself, what's the first impression you try to put out?
yeah, I have different ones.
Oh.
So if they're like adults and like I have to be all like businessy around them and stuff, obviously I'm gonna like, you know, be like, yeah, and I'm gonna be like quiet and stuff. Like I get more shy around people that are like I don't know that well or like higher up than me, I guess. But if it's like around like people I'm meeting like around our age or whatever, most of the time I'll just kind of be like this. So yeah, those are like the two major ones.
Yeah. For myself, I like changed over time ever since entering college, because when I was a freshman up until like end of sophomore year, I used to be a fucking bitch and just be super shy around everyone. No, like if you met freshman me, like I didn't talk as much, bro. I put on that personality as like, don't fucking come near me. I don't want to talk to you kind of vibe.
Oh, that's how I was senior year of high school, and I even said that I did not like certain people, and
Yeah.
I totally regret it.
It wasn't until I met like some of the international students that kind of, you know, kind of cracked me out of that coconut shell. And I discussed this too with AJ on It's Been a While, where, you know, when he first met me, he fucking says like, bro, you know, when I first met you, it's kind of like, have you ever seen that video of a dude trying to husk a coconut with his teeth? I'm like, what? I mean, that's what he said. That's what he said I was like back then. And I think about it too. I'm like, damn, I really used to be a bitch back then.
how did you get over that?
It's honestly through meeting like a lot of the international students. It's because it's because of them, and also meeting people like Sam, Grant, Caitlyn, even you too, Alex. I was like, you know, I'm starting to trying to become a more sociable person. So when I first joined your server, I was like, all right, I'm gonna just act like super chill, super sociable, and then you're like, who the fuck is this kid?
Now he just joins and picks fights all the time.
I think it worked. I think it worked in your favor because you adapted.
Now all Ryan does is join.
You had to
into
adapt in
server
the
and
most
pick fights.
extreme of friend groups.
Trust me, I've heard worse.
Oh, that's baffling, honestly.
I don't even think it's that we say anything bad. I think it's about how far in each direction we move within
Yeah.
a matter of like a minute.
The thing is, with your group, you guys talk about super, like, something calm. It's like, oh, we went on a bike ride today for this long, where, you know, oh, man, fuck these politicians and shit. Next thing you know, like, you guys, like, turn a fucking 180, and, like, what are we talking about now? I'm sorry.
Yeah, we do that. We do that a lot.
Yeah.
Our new word is tanky.
Fucking
Whenever
tanky.
someone says something too liberal, we say, "Shut up, tanky."
Not to offend any liberals watching this episode, that you can just blame it on Alex.
No, it's not. I'm not trying to be offensive. It's just a.
It's just a random word you cited.
Yeah, it's just a word. It's just I don't know why I like saying it. I just like saying it.
I don't know. He just came into the server one day yelling, "You tanky."
I don't know. For the rest of y'all, like, what's like that first impression you try to put on, like, depending on the scenario?
So I used to try to be as boring as possible.
Understatement.
That's hard to do.
Wow.
Like Brian, I used to be pretty shy, so I was like, I don't know about these people. I'm just gonna stay quiet. But now I've slowly kind of come out of my shell. I kind of have this habit where I default to you know that kind of like customer service personality you get, where you're like super nice and super cheerful, and you're trying to be helpful and nice to whoever you're talking about. I tend to do that now.
This is HR. How may I help you?
Well, not very well, but yes.
Yeah,
Alright.
until I really get to know them, and then I can be like, all right.
Okay,
you're pretty cool.
I gotta ask Alex now. It's like I want to ask you, like, when you put on the first impression, what do you do? And it better not be about saying, "Oh, I eat ass."
Oh, okay, it won't be about that. Not anymore.
Not
So,
anymore.
one of my friends from college, she told me, like, it's weird because you can be inserted into any friend group and you just fit. So, and then she said it's because she's into horoscopes and all that. She was telling me about how my particular one was like, I might seem fake to people because I fit in with so many different groups. And I thought about it and I was like, yeah, that's true. And I guess it's just kind of like, it's not necessarily that I try to put on an impression or a front for different groups of people. It's just that I have like a wide variety of interests. Like one of my friend groups were super into going to festivals, super into hip hop music, keeping up with all that. And another of my friend groups were super into engineering and talking about these things that people would consider nerdy. And on the other hand of that, I have another friend group who we just talk about politics all the time. So it's like I fit in with so many different groups of people. Like if I put them all in one room, it's gonna seem like, I don't know, it's gonna seem like the most diverse group, social party or whatever going on ever. But I generally just like to I just go with the flow. I feel, I don't know, I try to.
So you're more like jack of all trades, if anything. Yeah,
and I think that's what's helped me with like other areas, in my club in particular, because I was like the bridge between, you know how they say engineers are socially awkward, which is not that true.
No, it's true.
It's not that true. I wouldn't.
It's true. You're an exception.
Okay, well, it's true to an extent, but I was like the bridge between that group of people that is like socially awkward, that, you know, they just like to do the engineering work, and with the people that were more exuberant in doing that and the work that they were doing for our club. So it works out. It's always worked out in my favor, just being able to do that, be the bridge between the like different groups of people like that. But yeah, I would say I'm like more like a chameleon, I guess, just kind of fit into everywhere. Yeah.
Oh, that's a quote. All right.
Yeah. All right. I know, Grant, you already said that, like, you always, in your opinion, you put on good first impressions, right?
I just don't try for first impressions. In all honesty,
he just becomes that person that's always there.
Yeah.
I really don't care for first impression. There are very few times where I think it matters.
Yeah.
But for the most part, I don't care, and I'll just do what I'm going to do anyways.
Yeah, and I guess that segues into, like, you know, pretty much the other part of this discussion is, like, you know, when are some times that it shouldn't matter, where the first impression, you know, you don't think about it, you don't care about it, kind of thing. And honestly, for me, like, I want to start off by just meeting new friends, I would say, as a start, because I feel like that happens to, like, all of us, where, like, you really want to get to know a person, but, like, you know, they put on, like, a first impression, you know, that can be either really good or really bad, but then, you know, you want to know more. It's, I don't know, for like, this is for me, it's like you kind of want to know their side of the story more. That's if you get a good vibe from them. So, like, you know, first impression can be, like, totally shit. You can be like, oh, man, this person can be, like, has a shitty first impression, but then, you know, you get to know them more, you get to talk to them more, you're like, oh, okay, now I see your point of view, and I'm cool with it, kind of thing. Yeah,
definitely in those group settings, like when trying to meet new friends, I think it shouldn't matter, because there's so many people, like Sam said earlier, like there's been people where I first meet them, we don't like each other very much, but then as I talk to them more and more, we end up becoming best friends, and that always stemmed from like just social settings.
Yeah, definitely. It happened to me a lot too. Is like when I first met like my roommates, like, you know, the 308 roommates, I was all like, well, because back then I used to be super shy, but then, you know, I felt a good vibe from them, so I took a chance on them. So, you know, when we hung out one time, and, you know, we were on our way to Target, out of all places,
It's always Target.
It's always
That's where friends
Target.
are made.
Yeah. And like me and those people, like we were on our way to Target, and we were on the same bus, and I was like, you know what, I'm gonna go say hi to them. They seem pretty cool. And after we started talking, like we started to hang out more. Like I got invited out to a few parties with him. We went on a couple of like hiking trips together. I was like, damn, I actually made the right call and actually like fucking talking to this person, getting to know them more.
Yeah, I love when that happens. You're like, wow, what if I like didn't do that? What would I be doing right now?
I would still be a little
Yeah, it's crazy
bitch.
to think about.
I would still be a little bitch and be all shy and shit.
Yeah.
I'm still like that, but I think it's kind of basic, but like everything happens for a reason, so
Pretty much.
yeah.
I don't know. What do you guys have to say, Caitlyn and Grant, for first impression, or like not? I guess just making friends without regarding the first impression.
I mean, I agree for the most part. Some people are just not the best at making good first impressions because they get super nervous and whatnot. Yeah, and ultimately, when you're trying to get to know you want to know like who they are for reals. And I think just naturally, first impression wise, people try to put up that. This is the kind of first impression I want people to have. It's not necessarily the most accurate one, but I think people kind of just instinctively do it.
Sorry, I want to go to Grant next, but I just want to add on a little bit. It's like it is kind of funny how like most of us here, well, yeah, or I would say some of us, where like we try to act super chill and quiet towards each other, but like when we start to get to know each other more through talking in those social settings, then we actually see more development going on. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, definitely.
Mm-hmm.
So now I want to ask you, Grant. It's like you really said that first impressions, like you don't really think about it, or you don't really care about it, right?
I don't, and I think it stems from the fact that I'm always tired. And I just don't have the energy to put up anything other than this is what I'm going to do, and if you don't like it, have fun.
Just deal with it kind of thing, right?
Yeah, I mean, I don't want to say I'm very quiet because we all know that's a lie. But I'm always very tired. And even right now, I'm like...
You're super tired.
I'm struggling to stay awake, and it's not because I'm bored. It's just quite simply I'm tired.
There's a reason why you and Sam haven't argued yet.
Oh, so we're gonna
we do
start
not
that
argue that often.
Yeah.
I argue with a lot of people, Sam.
And I argue with a lot of people too, Grant.
Yeah,
Alex
but
is
you're
a
on,
good
like,
example.
Exactly, it's a
lower
math-
end of the amounts
Great
of
example.
argument.
Then what are we
Like,
doing right now, Grant?
No, I would agree with arguing. I consider what I did with Alex last night arguing, where it was
I
like,
don't know.
I want him to take me to Barnes and Noble. But I didn't want to drive.
I walked by Barnes and Noble today. I love that store.
I fucking love Barnes and Noble.
Me too.
I've
Yeah.
spent my entire life in it.
I love making people there uncomfortable.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yes.
I do that a lot too. I kind of like yell or something sometimes. But
That's why I got
not just at
that's
Barnes
why I
and
got
Noble.
scared of your other server, because I'm like, oh no, Grant's part of this too. Fuck.
No,
Yeah, I
like,
love books.
I don't think that I argue with Sam that much compared to other people.
Only on the show you do.
Me and Grant argue every other hour.
Yeah, it's like I argue
Just
with
put it
him
in
every other
perspective.
hour. I play video games with almost all the time, and I will argue with him for a solid 30 minutes while we're playing a cooperative game.
Yes, I've jumped into those calls, and you're like, quack quack. What the fuck, you stupid?
But at the end of the day, it's just a game, so we don't care
Yeah.
that
I
much.
care.
I still care.
Play the game.
I guess like another area where you really shouldn't think about the first impression too much is like when you first like start going out on dates and stuff, like the first date kind of shit. I feel like I could say for most people it's like when it comes to the first date, like you want to put on the first good impression for the girl or guy or whoever it is, to be like, it's like, I want to make this person like this is gonna be my potential partner in the future. I should put on the first good impression, but like it's like what one of us said earlier. Is like your personality can change from first impression to whatever other personality you have.
I don't think I've ever put on a good impression for anyone I've dated.
Actually, I can relate. Yeah, definitely. I feel like every girl that I've talked to or dated, like I feel like they hated me at first and then absolutely just adored me for some fucking reason.
I know why they adored you.
I mean, I know why they adored me too. I just don't understand how they hated me.
You're so lovable.
I am. I know I am, but I don't know. Yeah, I like.
He's single, everyone, and I need him to like be taken off my hands. Someone talk to him.
Well,
I'm out of the game.
I'm gonna plug Alex's fucking socials after the. No, I'm kidding.
I don't have any more socials, but you can add my LinkedIn.
He needs a job.
Do you know who the fuck I am?
Have you seen my LinkedIn?
I'd say I'm quite the charmer through LinkedIn.
Ooh. Ooh.
Hit me up on LinkedIn. That's the only thing.
Yeah. You know, it's for my end, at least for like, you know, because I never really dated anyone. But the funny thing is like growing up on my end, I used to be friends with like a whole bunch of girls. Like that was just the group my family kind of put me in. Yeah, and you know, it's so funny because like you know, I'm entering college and you know, there's some girls I see and I like, and you know, the more I talk to them, it's like, you know, because I'm trying to treat them as like, you know, they were my friends I grew up with, but you know, and but then at the same time, like in my head, I'm like, okay, I'm trying to like, you know, I like this girl, but I'm like, well, fuck, we ended up being best friends anyway. But I mean, it's still a plus for me, but you know, and I've had many friends tell me is like, you know, since I'm mostly friends with a whole bunch of girls, even in college to this day, it's so hard for like a girl to tell like if I like them or not, because I'm like going around to like like different girls and just, you know, being so nice to them and shit. I was like, and I know what y'all are thinking that are listening. Please don't call me a simp.
No, you're not a simp.
No, that's
you're
not simp. Definitely not.
Simp.
You're a friend.
Caitlyn!
I couldn't think of anything other to call you. I wanted to say something. I just couldn't think of it.
Congrats on being a friend.
I'm like, Caitlyn here. She already called me out for it.
Yeah, but she called everyone out for everything.
For Caitlyn, you basically ask for her to do it, so
Yeah, you walked right into that. He set it up for me.
there you go.
Yeah. I don't know. That's just how happens to me when, you know, I'm around like girls and stuff. I mean,
definitely feel that way too.
Yeah, like I still appreciate that, you know, we're friends. Like, you know, we're even best friends at that point. But one day I will get relationship. I'm not gonna use fucking Tinder.
You're me, Brian.
Oh, no, definitely not.
Grant, just I'm here.
What did you say, Grant?
He knows. He knows I'm waiting for him.
Okay.
I definitely in high school I had more friends that were girls as opposed to guy friends for the majority of it up until my last year.
Yeah.
And then in college I had a very solid group of friends that were girls as well. And it was always like I got not kind of annoyed. I got really annoyed because I'd have some people telling me like, oh, like why aren't you dating these girls that you're always around? I'm like,
oh my
they're my
God.
friends. Yeah, it would
Leave
be
me
so annoying.
alone.
Yeah,
Yeah.
literally. I'd be like, just like sorry.
Yeah,
I
that-
don't know what to say.
yeah.
Like,
That
yeah.
I get that too a lot. Like, what was it? Every time I'm like hanging out with like, you know, just one girl, right? Next thing you know, a whole bunch of people from like out of buttfuck nowhere just straight up come to me. It's like, oh, are you two dating? I'm like, no, we're just being friends, man. Just getting like Starbucks or something. Shit.
Can't I
leave me
talk to
alone.
someone as a friend?
Exactly. It's
Yeah.
like, why can't I talk to this
Yeah.
person as a friend? I mean, you know, maybe that person is someone you want to date, but like, no, like the status right now is just friend.
Yeah, that happened all the time. Like, I remember one time my friend, she was going through like a really bad breakup, and then like she was crying on my shoulder at school. Like it was it was in a very public area, and then one of my friends, not even a friend, just like someone from my class saw me. He's like, "Hey, bro, I saw you with that girl." And I was like, "Oh my God!" I was
Leave
like,
me alone.
literally, like, yeah. Literally, it's not their fault. I was just like, it's just the assumption just made it seem horrible because it's like, just the context of what was going on. Like she was legitimately
Yeah.
going through like one of the worst times in her life, And
Shit.
just me hearing that, I was like, oh my god. I was
Shit.
like,
Alex? Why the fuck do you and me go through the same experiences? Like the shit.
Yeah, dude, I've dealt with that too. Like, I'm telling you, man, in high school, literally the majority of my friends were girls.
Yeah.
And in high school, like, I didn't even like girls like that. Like, I didn't. Even to this day, like, I don't know, like, it's just whatever. Like, relationships and stuff like that, it's just whatever.
Yeah, you don't really have to do anything, you know? So
Yeah.
just do whatever you want. Don't let other people say, like, oh, well, since you're talking to that person, just you and you. Don't let them think that you're...
Exactly.
That happened.
Yeah.
Because that's ridiculous.
No, it is. It's always been a huge pet peeve of mine.
And then a couple years later, it's you and Grant.
Trying to make it happen.
I always told Grant, I was like, when I finally get a girlfriend, like, and I tell her that thing I tell everyone of like, shut up before I kiss you. Like, if she says yes, I'm gonna be mad. I was like, you can't. You're not supposed to say yes. You're not supposed to say yes to it.
You're supposed to say yes.
This isn't that kind of answer.
Yeah, it's not that. You're not supposed to say yes.
Yeah.
Oh no, I had the opposite problem. In high school, everyone thought I was gay.
Oh my god, seriously?
What? I never heard that.
I did a lot of places.
Why are you and Alex like freaking notorious in your high school?
For the wrong reasons.
I like how Caitlyn hasn't heard any of these rumors.
I know.
Well, I also don't remember high school at all.
Caitlyn and I have talked about this. We went to the same high school, but she didn't do much.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We really were notorious. Oh my god. People really knew us. They knew our group specifically because our group was everywhere. I don't know. It was the best of times. It was
We did
no, it wasn't worst time. It was just we did some really stupid things.
I mean,
I would go back to live one more day of it, but that's it. No.
I was gonna say, like, you look back at it, and there were parts that are really fun.
No, there was definitely parts that were fun. It was just there was also some really parts that we shouldn't have done.
That's a really well said way.
Yeah, there were some things we really should have done, like the time we went up to a mountain when it was hailing.
That's all I was thinking about right now. Making someone get out of the car and run down the middle of a street in the rain.
Near a mountain, of all places. Literally the worst place to do it.
Yeah. Well, I guess also first impressions can apply to like friend groups as well. Because like if you like freaking my friend group, for example, and Sam knows this, like everyone sees us so differently in college.
Oh no, I love your friend group.
Yeah, I know. It's so funny because whenever we bring someone new into our group, they're like they always get half of the expectation right. But
I got the full expectation right.
But yeah, like even for me and like some of the international students too, like I remember like people were hella like talking shit about us. We're like, for what? And I remember the reason why. I was like, oh, majority of the time we're all in Starbucks. I'm like, oh, that's it. That's fucking
really.
it.
You're gonna talk to me about that when you don't even leave your room? Okay,
bruh. I remember.
So you want to go there?
I remember too, like even like in my class, in my one of my classes, like you know, one of the kids came up to me and is like, "Bro, I keep seeing you in the student center." It's like, "Is that you always hang out with those Japanese people?" I'm like, "Yeah." It's like they're like, "Why the fuck are you guys always there?" I was like, "Cause why not? It's a fucking
why not?
It's a public area, bitch. Are you saying I can't go in there?"
And why are you locked up in your room all the time?
There's a better coffee shop on campus.
Dude, literally, I would be studying at Starbucks every day right now if it was for this pandemic. Like, I would literally be there right now.
I would do almost anything to go back.
I know. I need a coffee shop in my life.
In all honesty, I don't know where I'd be.
Oh damn! Look at our time limit. So we need to wrap things up. But I guess just one last question, just to wrap things up, is does the first impression always matter?
No, only for certain people. Only people I'm scared of.
I'm gonna have to agree with Grant. Like only for certain things.
Yeah, it's definitely like what we said earlier. It's like there are some scenarios, like you know, a job interview or like meeting your professor. You kind of have to put up a good act. But, you know, when it comes to, like, everything else, when, like, meeting your roommates, meeting new friends, or, you know, potentially finding your partner, It's like, I don't think it should matter. Sure, when you first meet them, it might be a little bit weird, but, you know, you need to know the other side of the story. Wow. I like all of us just said no. That's it.
No.
What was this all for?
Nay.
I mean that's a good moral lesson of today's episode, guys. See, this is an educational YouTube channel.
Yeah.
I hope you guys
Yes.
learned a lot.
I am learning so much from all of you guys.
I've learned a lot about many of you.
I learned a lot about Alex tonight, and I feel great.
Too.
Hopefully,
But that's just because I barely knew him
Yeah.
in the first place.
I wish I learned more about Alex.
hopefully for another time we can go in depth on some of the crazy things we did in high school.
Oh
We
my
have
God, can we
everyone
just have
to
a-
talk about it.
Yeah.
have everyone to
Have a high
talk
school
about it.
memories episode, please.
We could
Yeah,
do
so
that.
so I wanna announce something real quick. So I am planning, or at least by the time I'm recording this may or not be released afterwards, but I'm gonna be trying to make a new show called Remember When, where, you know, we talk about like something we're like nostalgic about. So if you guys want to listen to, you know, high school stories episode, like we can make that pretty soon. You know, we could talk about other nostalgic stuff like old kids shows, old, you know,
Oh God, I could go off
Snack-
on those.
snacks we grew up eating as kids, or you know, or you know, just anything from our generation we want to look back on. But that's gonna wrap it up for this episode. Well, this very long episode of This or That. This may up ending being a 2-part episode. So hi, this is the end of part 2.
Thanks for joining us.
Yeah. So yeah, thanks Sam, Caitlyn, Grant, and Alex for joining in on this
Thank you.
episode.
Yep,
Yeah.
yep.
I had very much good time. What?
English bad.
my brain done. I am bedtime.
Bedtime.
All right.
Sleepy.
Alright guys, so make sure you subscribe to Apartment 308, like today's podcast, and comment on, you know, your opinions about first impressions and, you know, why you think it shouldn't or it should matter. And yeah, share it with all your friends and let them know about the channel. We would like to have more guests come in soon, like Alex.
Subscribe.
Yes,
Subscribe.
So subscribe, guys, and yeah, we'll see y'all in the next episode of This or That. Bye-bye.
Bye. Love
No
you.
icon.
Goodbye.